First of all, congratulations again, Hall of Famer. It took a little while, but they got you in there. They also took a little while. They added Ware. We're going to talk about him for a second, but they took a little while, a lot longer, to bring in Cowboy legend Chuck Howley. And you got a chance to play with Chuck back in the day. Can you talk about how Chuck Howley made All-Pro 5 times, first team All-Pro 5 times? He was the only player in Super Bowl history to be the MVP in the game he lost. Can you talk about Chuck Howley and probably how long it took him to get in as well? Because you lived it yourself.
Yes, I did. First of all, Chris, I'm not that old. I didn't play with Chuck Howley.
My bad. That's right. He retired in the early 70s. You came in a couple of years afterwards.
But I feel that old sometimes, for sure. But, yeah, Chuck Howley was a big part of Dallas Cowboy football history. The things he brought as an individual player meant a lot to the football team, a lot to that doomsday defense Coach Landry was trying to erect back then. And, Coach Landry, even back then, played the flex defense, which nobody in the NFL ever copied it, because even though the success it had, they didn't copy it because they couldn't teach it. They couldn't present it to their team so that they could understand it. But Landry did, and the reason is because he had players like Chuck Howley. And Chuck Howley deserved to be in that Pro Football Hall of Fame a long time ago. I was there today at the Hall of Fame luncheon, and for him not being there, he's having trouble at that age. You can't travel, but him not being there was a disappointment. And what upsets me, guys, is the Hall of Fame committee always says they always get it right. No, they don't.
No, they don't.
They don't get it right. Chuck Howley should have been in the Hall of Fame long time ago where he can accept it. He knows what's going on and all that kind of stuff. But let me tell you, it was a pleasure meeting his son, Scott, and his lovely wife, Miss Howley, today at the luncheon. And they are so thankful for the opportunity. And Chuck couldn't be there, but they've given him every words. We did video presentations to tell Chuck congratulations and things like that. But anyway, I'm glad Chuck Howley finally got his due, but it is too late.
And he's 86 years old, for those who don't know.
Yeah, and Drew, I mean, let's continue some of this righteous indignation because, of course, Darren Woodson, a finalist for the first time, but still not reaching that final plateau of the Hall of Fame. What kind of advice or what would you say to Darren in this moment where you completely understand it?
Hang in there, This is the Pro Football Hall of Fame. You just wait your turn. You know why? You can't do nothing about it.
Right.
Darren Woodson can't go out and make no interceptions, knock some people down like he always had done when he played with the Cowboys. He can't do that anymore. So his fate is in the hands of other people. And when that happens, you just got to wait your opportunity. Through this whole process, there's only one time I ever criticized the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And it wasn't the players in that Hall of Fame, even players going in ahead of me that I thought I should go in. Well, I never thought that. I thought that if they can go in or if they're Hall of Famers, then I must be too. But the thing is, they just, I don't know, they just have a hard time with this process. And the only thing I ever criticized was the committee, the senior voting committee. Mm-hmm. I never criticized the players in that Hall of Fame because one day you're going to be with those guys. So what Darren has to do, the last time I saw him, I said this to him. His vote was coming in. He was nominated and all that. I said, it's going to happen, but you got to pray. I'm not talking about no standing up praying. You go to the Pro Football Hall of Fame, you better get on your knees and pray. Amen?
Yes, sir.
For real. Speaking of, players going in and taking a little while, Ware came in on second ballot. He should have went in the first ballot, but I would like you to explain how it feels to get that knock on the door, because he got the knock on the door. He's down there in Arizona and you went through the same process as well when they knocked on the door. Can you talk about how that goes down and probably what it was like for him?
Yeah, that's the big part of it. You're pretty much surprised, but you have a certain idea that this might be happening. Okay. Mm-hmm. Because your family, they know, they're all excited and they're trying to keep it in and all that kind of stuff. And what my deal was, Jerry Jones is a PR guy, sent a letter to Roger and I, addressed to Roger and I, and said that he wanted to meet with us at the Star on this particular day at this particular time. And I'm thinking, oh, man, he's going to include me in one of them big real estate deals with Roger. I said, oh, man, it's going to be good. So I went over there thinking it was going to be something like that. But then I got over there and met with Mr. Jones, pretty much like DeMarcus Ware went through his presentation. But I went over there and met with Mr. Jones, and man, when he told me to go, when I heard the knock on the door and he told me to go answer the door, and I saw a big David Baker there, I mean, cry, all kinds of emotions, let me put it like that, go through you. And you're just so thankful and so blessed that it finally happened. And D. Ware didn't have to wait that long, but there's no doubt he was going to get in. The situation with Darren Woodson this season, he got caught up in the numbers, okay?
Yeah.
There's Rondé Barber, Revis, and there's one other guy that got in with this class. So Darren got caught up in the numbers. So all he has to do is be patient. I got a feeling his turn will come next year.
Have you followed up with Jerry about seeing if you can get one of those big real estate deals?
No. He hasn't followed up. But when we were in that meeting, he's talking about, you know what he said?
What?
You know, we're alike. We're marketing guys. We understand how to market each other.
Yeah. Hey, Drew, cool. Another Hall of Fame note. You talked to Chuck Howley's family. Do you have any idea yet who they're going to have do his speech, his nomination speech?
No, I don't. They didn't mention that. When they introduced them, they both went to the stage last night, his wife and his son. And I had a good talk with them today before the luncheon. And they're really proud. They're disappointed, of course, that Chuck can't be there and really can't appreciate this like he's done. And then he's 86.
Yeah.
So how many years does he have to be a Hall of Famer alive? So it's a tough deal. But I don't know who's going to make their that presentation. Hasn't been decided yet, but I'm sure whoever does, it'll be an emotional situation.
Let's talk about the latest 88, CeeDee Lamb, and the season he's had. And by the way, shout out again. You guys did the nice commercial, you and Michael Irvin and Dez Bryant and CeeDee Lamb, and then you followed it up having dinner with Post Malone. Y'all 88's a thick as thieves.
Yeah, we big time now. We go to Oscars and all this Academy Awards and Grammys and
walking
stuff
the red
like
carpet.
that.
Yeah, right.
The 88 Club. But let me tell you this, guys. CeeDee Lamb certainly lived up to the reputation of double ace this season. He had a great season. And the fact that the season he had when he was the most marked guy when teams defense against the Cowboys in their passing game. And the Cowboys did a good job of moving CD around because he has that ability to line up wide, line up in the slot, go in motion, come back and all that kind of stuff. He's able to do that, and the Cowboys did a good job of freeing him up. And that's why he went over 1,000 receiving yards and over 100 catches this season, and I think 9 touchdowns. So we text each other throughout the games, the Cowboy games, me, Dez, and Michael. And we be like saying, CeeDee balling. He's balling again. Throw the ball to CD. He's coming through. There was only one situation, I forgot who we were playing against, where he came across the middle and was wide open and dropped the pass. And we texted each other and we said, hey, let's see how CD reacts to this. And because one of the things that makes the 88 Club what it is with the 3 guys and CD hopefully in it is the fact that we're mentally tough. We could overcome tough situations. And what CD do? He went back out there and caught the game-winning touchdown. So that's what the 88 Club is all about. And that's what 88s do. That's what we do. Hood, hood.
Hood, hood. We got a Tolo from the 901 wants to ask you this question. Drew Pearson,
yes,
who is the best 88?
Are you serious?
Y'all had to know.
Hey, I was with Mel Blunt today. All right?
Yeah.
They changed the rule in 79. I came in the league in 73. I played 6 years under the rules of the game where they can knock you downfield, cut your legs at the line of scrimmage, do anything as long as the ball wasn't in the air. So it was tough just getting off the line of scrimmage, getting in the pass routes. And that's why then it wasn't a passing game. That's where all the great running backs you see in the Hall of Fame that have come through the NFL played at that time. Walter Payton, Dorsett, Barry Sanders, John Riggins, all kinds of running backs. But I came through that and still had success. If I could play it today's game with these rules, oh my, you have to come see me in Huntsville. I would be illegal. I would be arrested.
And that's why he's all decade the 1970s.
Hey, talk to him. You got to let him know sometimes. Drew Pearson on the Diamond Factory hotline here. And Drew, you talked about the ascension that CeeDee had to being a true number 88 and number one wide receiver in this league. What does it take? What does it require to remain at that place? Because we've seen some people go up and then not have the same follow up after. What does it take to remain there?
Yeah, that's a great question. Once you have a level of success in the NFL, teams are going to gear to stop you.
Yeah.
So what are you going to do? Take that? You got to step it up. You don't think teams double team Jerry Rice throughout his career?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But they did, but he still had success. So that's what CeeDee has to do. And that's what the Cowboys, maybe with the new coordinator, they can find ways, more creative ways to use CeeDee. But he individually has to step up his game because people are going to step up their game to try to stop him. One thing I think he needs to do is maybe get a little more buffier, a little more thicker.
A little more meat on the bone.
Take those licks. Yeah, they'll take those licks or you're going to come. But he just got to be aware that what he did this past season probably not going to work this next season. He's got to up his game, and you do that through practice, hard work, and staying focused. And I think CeeDee is that type of guy.
So do you think they might pull the trigger and do a splash move this offseason and bring in a name wide receiver to go along with him?
I hope so. Either that or give some of these guys you got on the bench a chance, like Gallup or Noah Brown. If they can't do it, let's bring somebody in and give CeeDee some help, but not just CeeDee. Give the offense some help.
There you
go. Look at Philadelphia's offense. They got Devontae Smith, and then Brown.
Yeah, A.J. Brown.
And then the tight end.
Yep.
Goddard. I mean, they move the ball, but you try to concentrate on one of those wide outs, then the other one's going to burn you. So that's what we need, somebody on the other side. I had my most success as a receiver in the NFL when Tony Hill was my running mate at wide receiver.
Dial 8-0.
And the only way we competed is that, we wanted to do more than the next guy, but it was all spirited in the spirit of competition. And what we wanted to do was do what we could to help the team win. But my best years was when Tony Hill was my running mate at wide receiver. So give CeeDee somebody to run with, and you'll see him really put up some numbers.